only have one question. How in the heck has Sharrieff stayed married to Jen this long? You guys, what's up? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. We definitely got to get into this episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because this is a mess. Jen is a tyrant, a Tasmanian devil, or tornado, an asshole. Like every other name or word you can think of that has to deal with emotionally unstable. Like if unstable was a word in the dictionary, if unstable was in the dictionary, Jen would be there, is what I'm saying. Jen's picture would be right next to the word unstable. Because this is ridiculous. She cannot have a conversation with somebody and hear something that she doesn't like and then not go off on a rampant, which is what she did with Heather. And we'll go ahead and get into all of that. But before we do, y'all, the inauguration, did you check it out? I definitely saw some clips and highlights, but I wanted to go ahead and knock out these reviews before I, did a video on the inauguration, because that's something totally different, because Wednesday is definitely front loaded with Salt Lake City. Freaking this Housewives reunion, I'm definitely reviewing before Orange County. And then Married at First Sight, I'm definitely going to add Married at First Sight to the list. So once I hopefully get done with all of those in time, I will get into the inauguration, or maybe I'll possibly do like a live on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we actually open up with Whitney talking to her husband, talking about how, she's noticing that the girls definitely aren't right after, Jen's hip hop party. So she wants to take off like 2 days to go to Las Vegas, try to stir up some, at least some fun. That way they can, try to find a way to get to a common ground after what happened at the party. So she texts everybody and, lets them know, hey, let's get ready to take this trip. Of course, Lisa wants to be the high sedity Mormon that she always is. I'll think about it, And then Heather and Jen, of course, are down. So we see this little snippet with Brooks. Like, I really did try to like Brooks. I really did like Brooks genuinely in the beginning. And I think a lot of people did. But something about him now just is coming off real white privilege. Even though we know he has white privilege, but the way it just so blatantly came out with his 3 copy and paste outfits and ended up in a fashion show, like after that, and the way he been talking with that whole Jen situation, like he just kind of rubbed people the wrong way. So now when he makes these little funny comments, it just makes you feel like, right, which white boy? The caucasity. They're talking about, I wanna eat healthy, but no carbohydrates, no sparkling water, no cheese, milk. And he walking around this bougie ass, I know the damn head of lettuce probably cost $12 there. But yeah, that scene just really honestly made me laugh. It was funny. So we see Sharrieff and Jen are going to set Heather up on a little blind date. Sharrieff's excited. Heather is this girl. So, he want to set her up with the man. Now we will see later really was a flop. Not no big daddy, a big flop. So we see as well this nice little scene where Whitney ends up inviting her dad over, because all of the kids necessarily have not been together since the divorce, since his addiction, everything. She has her brother Will and her sister Shaylee, because the parents had some together and then a whole pod from previous marriage. So they all just kind of really a mix. So half of the kids, some of the kids, maybe Whitney, just Whitney. Okay, maybe just Whitney was trying to fight for her dad's addiction, and the other ones just kind of like raised their hands up to it and was like, I can't deal with this right now. So she's, conveyed to Shaylee, the sister, that, dad's doing better. He's in sober living. So, let's try to give him another chance, and hopefully seeing that his family's behind him and supporting him, will make him continue on with his sobriety, because he better suck it up with having his little home buddy partner in his little sober living, because he really tried to leave because they set him up with a bunkmate. Like, nigga, suck that shit up. So Will ends up coming over first, and she she's happy to see him, and Will's just kind of looking at her with apprehension. Then Dad shows up, and they give each other like a nice little hug, but you can definitely tell there's still like a little barrier there. And then Shaylee finally shows up, and I think that's her name. Is it Shay or Shaylee? Nonetheless, Whitney's sister shows up, and, you know, gives the dad a really approachable hug. And you can tell, like, there's very much still love there. So they sit down, eat some nice little Chinese food, and Whitney, not Whitney, but the dad is talking to them about, you know, his sober living, his, you know, going to AA meetings for, you know, whoever be people on heroin, you know, meth pills, all that. They're all in the same group, and then they do, like, different activities throughout the day. But one part that kind of had me, like, and you could tell the other kids were like, when he was, like, saying, oh, you know, I'm grateful for the addiction because it brought us here. So you could tell the kids were kind of like, what do you mean grateful for the addiction because it brought us here? Like, there definitely was a pause. Like, sometimes a part of me, like, kind of sees, like, the dad almost trying to reason or, like, lighten the load of what he did and how it affected people. Because he kept just trying to, like, reiterate, like, oh, you know, we're back here, my family's together, you know, through the addiction, you know, like, my family's back and everything. And it's kind of like, well, no, like, you don't want to thank the addiction for, like, now you and your family getting back together. Like, that just kind of came off weird. You can tell the kids were kind of like, what do you mean? Like, did y'all see that kind of awkward silence when he said that? Like, or am I tripping? Like, did y'all see it too? But Whitney definitely was trying to mediate you know, everybody was like, you know, Dad, like, you know, he's taking accountability. He's really doing better for himself. And, you know, the kids agree, like, okay, we see it, but the brother wasn't playing. He was like, look, Dad, you got a real good history of talking all this, you know, oohs and ahs, but you never follow through. So we're going to have to make sure you follow through this time. So he's like, look, how about you come to a facility? You know, I'd love for you to see the living quarters. Maybe go to a meeting with me and, you know, see that I'm for real and trying to, you know, get this sober living back together. I think what would be really beneficial for the dad is for him to find an activity to get into similar to, you know, opening a business. Because for him to have, like, a whole business, a hairline, a salon, like, all that type of stuff, he needs to get somewhere in there again to get them creative juices back flowing and make him fall back in love, you know, with what he was doing in the first place. And then once his kids see him having a dedication to something, they definitely will come back around more. So before the trip, you see Lisa loves calling Meredith and just talking shit. Like, I'm going, especially Whitney. I think she ends up in a scene in the same room as Whitney. It's Meredith. And she is just going in with the, oh my God, you know, Whitney, she has just always had a problem with me every time I've seen her. And they do the playback of how the first time it was Whitney's bar that got messed up from the people that she sent over getting drunk off the product. You have a problem with that. Then the second time was when she's like, Whitney told Lisa that she felt judged by her. And Lisa wants to be like, I don't judge you because I don't think about you. Really, bitch? And then now the third time, where she's bringing up to Jen the fact that, you know, y'all are possibly talking shit about her. So Whitney is trying to use all these, you know, instances as a culmination of why Whitney isn't the type of girl she hangs out with. You know, she can't be my life. Like, Lisa is very elitist. She's very, you can definitely tell, like, because the way she held that little luncheon with the other ladies and, oh, you know, these ladies, like, they have jobs, they're moms, and, you know, they really have businesses, and, you know, these are the type of women I want to be around. Like, Lisa is so for herself, and you're going to realize trying to get to the top of your business is going to leave you alone, bitch, because it's going to come in a season or two, the fact that your husband went out there and found him another side bitch because she had time for him and you didn't. Bitch, learn from everybody else's mistakes. He's giving you a clear warning, and I can very definitely very much tell that you have not changed since him having that conversation with you. But nonetheless, she's going in on Whitney, and Meredith is like being a little bit different. She's like, you know, Whitney's just kind of the messenger, and if, you know, I've never heard Jen say anything about me, but, you know, I'd be remiss to say, like, I feel some type of way knowing that Jen is spreading my business out there if that is true. And Lisa's like, I don't want to believe it. You know, I'm not sure about that because not that I know of, Jen has ever said anything about me. And it's like, well, bitch, exactly, not that you know of. So, and then Lisa's thing too is like, she needs to come straight to me. I'm not scared of Jen. Why would I be scared of Jen? And it's like, bitch, you know what Whitney's trying to say. Y'all aren't scared of Jen, but you definitely don't want to tell her what she doesn't want to hear because of the reaction. Like, quit playing games. So, Heather goes on this little double date with Jen Shah and Sharrieff. Sharrieff had on a good old pimp from Augusta top, okay? He said, I'm a pimp named Slickback. Only real ones know where that's from. A pimp named Slickback. Ho, you better run in these hills to the car. I'm so mad Boondocks is off, y'all. I really hope that they find a way to, like, you know, peacefully let Pops die and then have another character, maybe like a grandma off somewhere, so they can get Boondocks back rolling. Because they were in the process of starting Boondocks back up, but unfortunately, the character that plays Pops, I think his name is James Witherspoon, he died. God rest his soul. He was super funny. But yeah, so I really hope they try to figure Boondocks out. But nonetheless, he was looking like a pimp named Slickback, okay? So Jen comes in, and Jen definitely gives off this energy of, you know, want to be down, want to be hip and cool. So she sits down, and he's telling her about, Sharrieff is telling her about Big Daddy and all the things he's known him for 30 years, and he's a good man. So she's like, Big Daddy, shoot, Big Zaddy, you know, I'm ready to see him. And Big and Tall is the only place that nigga can shop at. He walks in looking like, you know, Green Giant, big ass. And of course, Heather immediately gets to thinking in her head, make him give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer. Make him give me brain in the front seat of the Hummer. That's what she was thinking when she first saw him, right? But then the nigga sat down and they got to ordering drinks. And that fool said an orange juice and cranberry and ordered a Shirley Temple. Man, Whitney's pussy said, try clean that up. Do it with me. Her pussy said, gone, desert, dry, okay? Dry like a bunch of saltine crackers in the mouth. Dry like the desert. Dry like the back of by Ashley's ankles, okay? She was like, okay. And then they get to try and get to know him. And the nigga's talking about work. And I feel like he was nervous. And what most people revert back to when they're nervous is talking about what they know. And for him, it's work and, you know, work with kids. And, you know, he's a speaker. Clearly you can tell he's a speaker. So he reverted back to that instead of being, you know, personable. His personality, like something. So immediately Heather was like, this ain't gonna work. And he trying to stay for dessert. She like, no, y'all got it. I'm good. And Sharrieff walked him out. And she was like, girl, like, I mean, I'm gonna have to pass on that one. You know, Big Daddy didn't turn into Big Zaddy at all. He turned into a big flop, basically. So, they all get ready to head to Las Vegas. Everybody's confirmed they're going except Lisa. But kind of find out that bitch was already in Vegas on business. So you really want to be difficult. Lisa, like, very much is the ice out queen. She very much is the, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Very much, I'm going to show you, you know, how much I can control something and how much I'm worthy. Like, she does shit like that, for real. So what was so hard about calling Whitney and just being like, you know what, if I show up, you know, that's good. I'm not going to promise anything. What was so hard about that? They end up going on the plane, getting there. Whitney calls Lisa and she gets the dial tone real fast. And then 4 seconds later, literally calls Meredith and tells her, oh yeah, I mean, I'm about 20 minutes away. And Whitney's trying to say, hi, you know, how are you doing? And Lisa's not here for it. So they get to the hotel and Whitney tells the girls after that weird ass introduction, I guess the hotel was trying to get their little kudos points because they was going to be on Bravo. He gets that weird ass introduction and then Whitney lets the ladies know, hey, we're going to go drive some cars. And Jen was like, ooh, sorry girl. Like, I can't do that because I promised Heather a little surprise. And she's like, you can't wait. She's like, oh, it's kind of like an appointment thing. So Whitney gets to the room with Heather and was like, well, damn, this bitch could have said something because now look who I'm left with. Lisa and Meredith, the two bitches I got the most issue with right now. So Heather's looking like, girl, you know, I can't help you. Only thing I can tell you is like, try to talk out the situation because this is messy. The way you know, things have fallen out. I understand that you didn't expect it to go that bad, and, you know, you apologize to Jen about how the situation went, so at least with her it's good, but you definitely got to smooth it over with them because the way the party went was hella south. So Jen goes down there and she takes Heather on a shopping experience, had all the nice shoes and dresses and everything. Her ass even got up on the damn bar and busted it. Man, almost busted her bike and like literally fell apart in her Versace print outfit. So as they're sitting down chilling, the other girls are on the way to, you know, the racetrack, and it is quiet, like quiet. And Lisa then gets on the phone with her partners just cackling. Yeah, business is great. Yeah, I just made another $1 million. And Whitney is just sitting there like, okay, bitch. See, Whitney, your problem is you need to give her the same treatment that she's giving you. Do not go crawling and begging for Lisa because that's what feeds her ego. She feels like she's the queen of Sundance. She feels like she's the queen of this and has all the access. You know, she wants to feel, you know, like posh. So pay that bitch dust and see you'll get way further because Lisa is one of the bitches, you got to beat her at her own game. So they get there. She, of course, wants to let everybody know, oh, I drive a so-and-so Porsche, you know, so which one should I get? And the driver was looking at her like, the fuck? What I got to do with this? So then they get on the racetrack and Lisa is driving slow, like literally like she's in LA traffic or something. The girls are speeding, going 100 miles an hour, and bitch, you going slow. So as they're doing that, back at the shopping experience that Jen had for Heather, because she understood that Heather feels like she's gonna lose her as a friend, which bitch you really might after this. She talks to her about how she knows Lisa is upset with Whitney. She's like, look girl, you know, Lisa is still feeling some type of way about Whitney. She's feeling like you should have came right to the source. Like, why are you spreading rumors about me? And Heather was like, well, you know, like she tried to just basically explain to you how the other girls were talking about you behind your back and wanting to, you know, try to be a good friend to you. It's agreed, and Whitney took accountability that, you know, wrong place, wrong time. That is the only thing Whitney should be apologizing for. I repeat, that is the only thing Whitney should be apologizing for. Wrong place, wrong time. That is it. Jen, if you say one more time that bitch is responsible for your party going south, you're delusional. She did not tell you, like Heather said, did Whitney tell you to throw the glass? And you see how quick Jen paused and then tried to redirect real political-ish? How hard is it to understand? Whitney messed up my party. That was so important for me and Sharrieff. You know how much that meant to me, Heather. And it was like, we get it. The importance, you're trying to save your marriage. We understand. But, bitch, like Jen, like Heather said, she didn't tell you to throw the drink. She didn't tell you to have that big-ass reaction. She didn't tell you, you know, to start yelling and cause chaos in the party. That party would have been just fine had you continued, and nothing would have gone wrong without your reaction. Period. So now Jen's getting an attitude, and Heather's realizing, like, the only friendship that Jen understands is being a henchman for her. Whatever she says goes. However she feels is how you have to feel. Like, there is no making her accountable. So now, in the midst of that happening, the other girls are talking, and Whitney's like saying to the ladies, like, look, you know, I want to apologize. You know, I tried to just tell Jen, like, after talking to Mary, what was going on. And so Lisa's like, well, why would you not come to me instead of before going to Jen? Because Mary doesn't speak for me. And Meredith's like, she sure doesn't speak for me. You know, she's like, how are you going to sit there and tell her I said that when I know I didn't? And Whitney's like, well, you know, that's why I'm apologizing. I'm figuring like I went about it the wrong way. Do y'all believe them bitches said that? I feel like they're playing semantics. I feel like you might not have said you're not scared of Jen, you know, it's not her, but you definitely said something around the extent of, you know, you don't want to tell Jen that something that she doesn't like to hear. You don't want to tell Jen, you know, something that would make her reaction go crazy. Y'all are scared to tell Jen the truth. That's what it is. But after Whitney apologized, Lisa then wants to be like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm an easy forgiving person. I just have to hear an apology. So then that makes me think Lisa is one of those bitches that just the fact that Whitney shouldn't even be apologizing. She should just be trying to explain her reasoning. But I'm sorry, I would not give that bitch, listen, no apology. I just couldn't. Because she likes to hear an apology for the sake of making it feel like it feeds her ego. Because if somebody apologizes to her, it's like they're admitting like fault, and she gets a rise out of that. She gets a rise out of people coming to her and like almost making her right in every situation. Lisa likes to be right and always on, you know, the high side of a situation. And Meredith, she's just a follower. So, as they're, you know, situated, we think it's going to go the opposite way. You know, we thought them three bitches going to be fighting, but no, in turn, it's Heather and Jen. She done got all these nice shoes, nice outfits, and the whole mood is fucked up because Jen clearly been drinking. Well, her goddamn, I just bit into a damn peanut butter jelly sandwich, but I'm allergic to peanuts, ass lips looking self is going off. And like, you need to understand, Heather, the only reason we are tolerating Whitney, I didn't bitch slap her, is because she is your friend. So you need to understand you're bringing yourself and your company and your credibility is all rested upon Whitney. Are you sure you want to do that? And it's like, bitch, who the fuck you think you threatening? And this is exactly why Heather is like, you're not going to be friends with me, because now the fact you're talking about her credibility and her career, all types of stuff, is clearly you want to be with people who are part of the in crowd. You definitely would drop Heather if it meant you got Lisa and Meredith because of the connections that they have and what they think can bring for you. Jen, fuck you and your reaction. I don't know how Sharrieff has stayed married to you for that long. You need to understand, I hope they get into your ass at the reunion. Whitney did not mess up your party. You did. And when Heather said that, you can definitely tell it took Jen by surprise, and she did not want to admit it. What is so hard to understand? Whitney knew that party was important. Yeah, if the party was important, then why the fuck did you react like that? Period. So the episode basically ends with them coming back to the hotel, all right, and Heather realizing like, Jen, you're bringing this up, but you made up. I'm confused. You made up with Whitney. So where is the problem at? You even, like, she did that shit with Mary. And Mary didn't come. Like, I guess Mary's trying to just be like, phase herself out. But I feel like she really should have came on the trip. What y'all think down in the comments. But, she's confused. Like, I thought you were okay with Whitney. So why is this happening? So now for the preview for next week, Whitney's like, oh my God, it went great. I'm surprised. So now we get to have a dinner and be okay. And Heather's face was like, who bitch? So yeah, that's where the episode ended. This video became a little bit longer than I thought. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much Salt Lake City. Definitely, next week definitely seems like it's ooh, Jen. Girl, go back to the damn doctor and get you a chill pill. But you guys, before we go, make sure you are sharing, tagging, posting. We got to get your girl to 1,500 so I can do a giveaway. I know y'all want this gift that I got. I'll start dropping hints of what it is soon. But definitely make sure before you go to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch all you guys later. Deuces.